33. 33. 33 is fieldwork of fieldwork journal. So in your notes, it is very clearly written what you have to do when you do the fieldwork. There are some instructions and guidelines, and also the format and pro forma. All these things are uh, included in your MSW33. Yes, we can see it. So this is mostly instructions, This is mostly instructions. So what you have to follow when you do your field work for your studies. So correctional administrations and these are the most preferable area. Correctional administration, that is prisons. Now the word prison is not used, and it is very well. It is correctional administration. Hence, you visit correctional administration in different parts of the country, and wherever you are getting access, and do your field work. So first you will see the social work, the practicum, correctional settings, the space sheet that you have to use. It is shown, and I need not explain anything because it's only a form. Then, as per the book, contents are here. Comes field work components. What are field work components? Then, nature of correctional settings. Evaluation of field work. Then, activity 1 to 6. Activity that you have to do. Activity 1 to 6. That is, first one is induction meeting, and second is action or activity is orientation visits, and the third activity is current field work reports. And then the fourth one is a report of individual conference. And fifth one is self-evaluation report by student. And the sixth activity, summary report of field work. These are the things. Then the last one is evaluation and creation. These are the things you have to learn for your field work. And this is what is provided in the content. And you have to understand all these things. It's very easy. It's only a guideline. It's only a guideline. So the first thing is you have to get into contact with the correctional administration, that you are a student and you want to do field work there, and they get access with the authorities, and make sure that you are allowed, you are included, you are allowed, because unless and until they allow you, you can't go there, and you know very well, you need not explain. So get acquaintance with them, and get your chance for doing field work. So these are the contents included, and we can see each one of them. So introduction, it's a general introduction to all students, which you may go through. Okay, which you have to go through. That's only general introduction. and guidelines are there. You see those guidelines very well. So it's you have to take seriously. Then this social field work is not socially useful productive work. You must understand that. It's only not the same as national service scheme. It's not like NSS, that is national service scheme. Then what? It is a learning process that you learn something through your field work. You understand something, and you have to apply your knowledge. And after that, a fieldwork supervisor, that is FWS, which is the acronym used here and there for the rest of the class, rest of the pages. In the rest of the pages, evaluates the process and gives him the necessary feedback. The center of fieldwork process and it is your learning, which is paramount importance. Then know your limitations. You are only a student and you go to the agency maybe once or twice a week and don't plan ambitious programs which requires frequent meeting. As long as the persons concerned, a lot of resources continuity may not be possible in some cases. Then know the limitations of the agency also. Lack of personnel, lack of funds, lack of motivation, poor leadership, lack of infrastructure, poor relationship with community, then factionism, corruption, etc. will be there whenever you go someplace. And you don't mind about all these things. You do your field. That is, you have to understand the limitations of the agency. Sometimes he may not be properly attended or minded. They may not mind you because they have their own busy schedules. And in those uh, very busy schedules, they may not be able to attend you properly. Usually and generally, they may attend because they may take care of it because you are a student. And they may. But in certain situations, they may be tensed, having stress and tension and all that. So they may not take proper attention. And you have to do it. Uh, so it's better to discuss these issues with the field work supervisor and to do according to his guidance. Then use the journal meaningfully. Is this journal? So it is a guide only. It's a guide and not a textbook to be read like a textbook. It's a journal, and you just it's a guide. You whatever you see is the only guidelines. Learning objectives, the tasks that you have to do. You must review at the end of each field work day whether you have been moving towards these objectives. That is, you have to verify yourself. Doing the needful tasks of or preparing the groundwork for the task. Also, it is equally important to record the same in your report with your comments and observations. Failure, success, all can be truthfully and sincerely recorded. By jotting down the points for discussion. You have to jot down, means gist of it, right? The gist of it. Attendance and field work. Attendance at field work. You should attend 15 days of field work. We have to take care of it. 15 days at field work is to be field work is to be done. For the full day levels have to be compensated with the full field work on other days. For you, when you take leave, you have to compensate it to the other days. Employed learners who are unable to fulfill their field work should compensate it by doing the field work on the holidays with the prior intimation to field work supervisor. Because some of you may be working students, some of you may be working, and you may not be able to do it all the time of at that time. At that time, you may prefer holidays also. But one thing, if you are possible to take some on leave, and here I want to tell that if you are possible, then some take some leave, 10 days or 5 days leave, then 5 days holidays. You adjust with that, but take care of it. One thing, when you work, you should not be on the same day working in your institution on the same day in the field work. Then it will be wrongdoing. Okay, don't do it. I know that nobody will do that, but you take care of it. Then, uh, if the field work days to be compensated is more than 10 days, you are expected to do the same under block placement, which means that you do field work continuously for the required number of days. Everything should be as per the advice of field uh, work supervisor. Okay. Then attendance at fieldwork conferences. Attendance at fieldwork conference is also compulsory. Conferences are not vague discussions on social work topics, but specific to your problems. Everyone should get an opportunity to speak, and you must make use of the opportunity. Okay. Then fieldwork components. What are fieldwork components? Orientation visits, placement agencies, client relation, assignment of tasks, nature of social work. So, then recording, administrative assignments, teamwork, field instructions. Orientation visits, activities assigned to the student are to visit some correctional settings for some of the agencies, providing service in various correctional settings. Correctional settings. Agency visits in case of work of practice, placement, and exposure visits is usually for educational purposes. To acquire observation skills and develop a spirit of inquiry, to understand society responses to social problems through various services, to understand, appreciate, and develop ability to critically evaluate. That is what is called an orientation visit. Uh, then correctional settings. Correctional settings means correctional institution, prison, police stations, juvenile justice systems, training schools, and administration of parole services. These are all correctional settings. You can do field work in any one of these. The major functions are to counsel the inmates. Your duty, what you have to do there. Functions are to counsel the inmates, helping them adjust to the institutional settings, deal with inmate family problems, and assist in their rehabilitation and resettlement in the community. The social worker acts as a link between prisoners and the institution to improve the services being provided. As a link, social worker. Then agencies. Then agencies working in the correctional settings. So there are so many agencies and provide under correctional settings. Observation homes, shelter homes. These are all. And some of the agencies which are there directly working in various correctional settings. As I visited the agency, You must access the following in the service provider. The sensitiveness of the agency shows towards the beneficiaries. Then the programs the agency implements to make the beneficiary independent. Then the effectiveness of the efforts. Then the level of commitment in the staff and level of training which purpose prepares them. Okay, for and there is a performa you go through what you have to do during orientation. Then number of staff members and positions are also there. Professionals, support staff, volunteers, total. This is the performer. Then history of the organization. So if you go to an organization, you must trace out its history also. You have to understand that is you have to understand it very well. For services provided, the reasons for the changes in approach 4 years and the results of changing have to be studied. Then sources of funding. Funding, especially foreign funding, has become controversial use. The controversial issue now, recent past and now also, special care should be given to the dealing with the sensitive issues. Okay. Then foreign sources and the Indian sources. Foreign sources means international organizations. Then governmental and non-governmental resources and national governmental sources, private institutions, and indigenous one, and so on. Community-owned resources. Methods for raising funds and achieving financial stability. That is sources of funding. Then buildings. We should see whether the building agency operates is suitable for the activity it has undertaken. Well, for example, a short stay home for women will require the necessary rooms, toilets, bathrooms. You have to understand all these things. Verify. Besides, the area should be secure. Then be secure too that inmates live without fear. Whether the premises have rented or owned owned by the agency. That is the case of the thing. Then transport. You should see you should see whether the agency has required transport facilities to perform its function. That is, the agency may be using transport, and you have to note all these things. You have to check all these things. The hospitals or old age home, there may be need for ambulance, and if it is an agency, you must see whether ambulance is used or patients are brought there with the help of simply cars. They won't do that, but you have to check everything. Then communication aids. What are the ways of communication? Means of communication. Audio video equipment, projectors, video players, other they use it. Then relationship with the other agencies. That means uh, relationship with the other welfare agencies, not governmental organizations. Then Then the relationship with the government and departments, relationship with the panchayat raj institutions, relationship with the community-based organizations. You have to understand all these relations with the agency with those institutions. The relationship with other organizations like religious organization, association, etc. Then you have to understand the quality of service provided by the agency. Then opinions can be collected from the staff, clients, management, and government fields working in the area. Then collection of information, problems faced by the agency. These are all the things you must understand and see that uh, all these things are going smoothly. Then internal problems. What are internal problems? Internal problems can be related to funding, infrastructure. Then external problems, internal problems, and then there are external problems, then future problems. What the agency is preparing for the future problems. Then recognition and awards. Then we have affiliations. Affiliation means the agency belongs to any institution that is affiliated. Them such as councils, higher education institutions, network, etc. Then any other information in this learning process. You can write your views on the agency impressions. Then there must be a comparison between the agency you have seen and with other agencies. You can agree or disagree with the agency. Again, in terms of knowledge, skills, attitude can be noted. Then placement. What's the placement? That is, you are placed in the agency where the focus will be to provide you with the opportunity. Why? For your work. You can try and build a relationship with inmates of a wing of the boys' home so that the future may be able to get a client or groups from the wing. You get acquainted with them. You get acquainted with them so that will be getting connected. Then rudimentary social work can be used in the beginning, and then there is finally then the agency client relationship. Their relationship with the agency and between agency and the client. And what are the main objectives? What are its targets? These are all things under this. Then, if yes, the reasons of revisiting. Then, what is rational for implementing project? Revising. Then, who are intended beneficiaries? Children, women, or poor, anybody else? What is their share in the project? What is their opinion? These are all things you have to understand. Then, and there is a long list and assignments of tasks. Or assignments means you have to expose to situations where the social work methods are used in the rudimentary form in correctional setting. Then you have to conduct meeting individuals and groups. You may require some same may require that, but meeting individuals and groups, you have to do that, interacting with them and helping them to plan the task and implement it. The task can be chosen depending on the task can be chosen depending on the need of the target population of the resources. This is your task. Then the various steps followed to organize the event. Initial stage, initial contact with the people. Then studying the situation and getting to know the field, know the felt needs of the target population. Population means the people you want to study. As a part of your studies, the people you want to know. That's it. Then develop a realistic time frame for conducting the activities. Then planning stage. The next stage is planning stage. Initial stage number one. Then what? List out the task to be done. Then there is implementation stage. These are all step by step. These instructions are there. Then implementation stage will implement the plan. Unexpected assistance that helped you to implement the program needs to be mentioned. Then that is implemented. Evaluation and feedback. The objectives set attained. Set being attained. Objectives set being attained. What are the impact of the program? These are all things. Then tasks that can be undertaken. Then arrange for loan, scholarship, and these things, individual and related activities. Then help the inmate to adjust and adapt with in the group through interaction and counseling. I hope you understand them because you are suppose you are meeting an agent. The agency here means those who are doing it, and groups support them, help them. That's all. Don't misunderstand. Then group related programs. There are organize a picnic, film show, visit to place of interest like museum. And then these are group activities. Then arrange an adult education class. Organize awareness camp related. Then organize start a street place with other. These are all uh, then conduct a health camp. Then organize a funding. Uh, these are all. Then organize sport programs. Organize leadership training programs. Arrange for filing public investigation bill. These are all things you can do. And what are the problems that you may come across? One, lack of resources. Then, uh, three, the point three is presence of dominating individual group may reduce participation. Then some individuals and group may try and use the common program for private use. You see, for private use, they will use this. And weaker sections of the population, like men, women, uh, who have decided. Hmm? People have decided for themselves. That is problems related to uh, participants. Then discuss your reactions with your field or supervisor in terms of objectives and discuss and describe the achievements. In terms of change you wanted to, in terms of larger program of the agency, in terms of its needs. It is, it is a miniature type of research. That is, you have to find out the real issues and place it in order. Then put write the report and write what will be your findings for the uh, study purpose that you get. Then there is learning. Nature of social work process. Yes, now casework has 5 steps: what study, assessment, intervention, termination, and evaluation. That is, you might have studied in theory paper, and you have to, what you have learned from theory, you have to apply practically. Then the you know the 5 steps you have learned already in theory paper. Then secondly, these are first things. First thing, that is this casework may not be other to related to all these 5 steps, but you may do it. Secondly, you must remember that you are a learner and cannot take difficult cases. And if you feel that the case is very difficult for you, you must not hesitate to refer. Then, if you feel that the case is very difficult for you, you must not hesitate to refer the case to your supervisor or a psychiatrist, which the case may be. Whatever you feel, you must apprise with your field or supervisor. Concession in a case or progress. Study. There are several ways clients approach the caseworker. So many ways. On their initiative, they may take initiative. On the permission uh, of the relative close to him. Then on the initiative of his superior colleague, juniors, teachers, etc. And so on. Not etc. So on. Then on being referred to by another institution, like education institutions, correctional institutions, and healthcare institutions. Then there are legal procedural requirement. Then other professional referred to or being referred to by other professionals like doctors, lawyers, or teachers. There are 7 points here. Understand? In some cases, the caseworker has to motivate the clients to seek counseling because the clients may not be willing for a counseling. It's the duty of the caseworker to instigate, to inspire, or to motivate the client doing that. Then you may feel something, but don't be emotional and don't get involved in that all these things because whenever we do field work, you may have to come across so many issues, and when you learn some of the issues or when you do some meetings with the clients and all that, you may get emotional. Uh, you may be emotionally changed person, but don't do that because it's only a part of study. That's all. Then first session, what we have to do? First session to establish working relationship with the clients, then clarify and define problem, then make an assessment, then to make assessment and to define goals. That's it. And there is a pro forma we may go through. That is what is written sheet, written here. That's what is shown here. Then residence address, then neighborhood address, all these things. School institution. These are all the things that. Then occupation employment. If the client is unemployed, then you can ask him about her last job. That you should not forget. They may say that I don't have a job. You can ask whether you had a job. So earlier, yes. Then you can ask about steps he has taken to alleviate the problem. You are studying cases, that is problems, and you will inquire with them. Then future plans. Then you'll be able to understand the mental strength, the mentality, the mental state of the client. Then ending this session, the client has to be asked when you can meet him again. When can you meet? When you can meet? Yes, that's right. Correctly, grammatically right. When you can meet. Then this ending the session, and the client again and again you want to ask them to see and fix a time and place and take care that your honor, your commitment in meeting the clients are as agreed upon. Then second session, that was the first session. You have to collect the information about the client. That importantly ask probing questions. Then you must most likely to be able to strengthen the rapport with the client. But you must ask directly related to problem. Yes, then in some cases, they may feel the client is lying. Then what will you do? But you should not be negative to them. You may feel that it is like they are lying, but you must not be negative to them. Yes, you never know. Then third session. What is the third session? Building a rapport with the client. That is the third session. That is having a very good relationship with the client. Then, then a home visit may can be arranged. Interviews can be conducted. In this third session, observations, the following observations can be recorded, which are the characteristics of the place, residence, description of surroundings. Then you have to understand everything about the client. Level of understanding, living exhibits, family members presented, their attitude, their opinions towards each other, characteristics of neighborhood, a kind of neighbors, relationship, and so on. All these things. Then you can conduct interviews, and that should be recorded. You must understand the clients, getting details about father, mother, children, relatives who are share common dwelling place, neighbors. People. So you should get everything in a polite manner, and you should not be aggressive. Visit, if the visit is in some slum areas, then you may not be able to get it confidential because other people will be there. So when you inquire on these things, when you collect data, they may have a feeling that you arrive there to solve a problem, their problem. So they may give all details, frankly. Then the house dwellers may feel uncomfortable and to make you feel like an intruder in their house. Since people are of varied nature, you know. So when you tell your ambition aim, your aim, what we have to do, we have a notification sir. So the houses people may, if they feel uncomfortable, we make them uh, change. We must get very positive. We must speak, and now negative is then the opinions of the client and his problems, and also history of client's problem. These are all things. Then intervention. Intervention, what is most facts are now available, which can be used to formulate an intervention strategy. That is, will be able to judge whether the problems can be resolved by you. Problems can be divided into four categories. One, relatively easy problems, those orphans. You can take them with the help of governmental organizations. They can be removed to their places. So one of violence, abuse, or moral danger are generally placed in children's homes. Yes, then relatively severe problems. First one is easy problem. Alcohol addiction, uh, schizophrenia, and the severe depressions may be there. Then there is relatively long-term problems that will need care services. For example, that can be finding a suitable family for adoption, foster care, sponsorship, then rehabilitation of these things. Then problems caused by several social disabilities. You have to understand that also. These are all the 4 points. Then intervention plan must be prepared. It should have the following components. Which are they? The diagnosis analysis of the problem, the causes of the problem, the possible solutions. These are all the issues. Then limitations of the situations, the aims and improve, and the aims of the intervention plan. These are all the points there. The fourth session is searching for solutions. And you have to search for solutions. What? Because the client will be in a difficult position. Uh, Totally disintegrated. Some of the possible skills that can be used are the following. Which are they? Giving them self-determination and social work value of believing that every person has necessary ability to resolve his or her problems. Is valid. So when you do this field work, some of you may not be getting so much cooperation and so much positive attitude. So that at that time you may get disappointed. But one thing you have to understand, uh, you are capable of doing it, and you can do it, you will do it. Because, you know, the problems can be solved. How can we say that? So, no, there is no lock in the world without a key, without a key. That means everything can be solved. So hence, you need not be negative. Just go through. You will get succeed. That's all. Yes, that is giving advice. Then providing information. It's an ideal task. An ideal task as it is helpful to the client, you see. Then, apart from sources available, your agency, you may keep in mind the agencies that you visited in your first year and second year of orientation visits. Then providing explanation. What? So three types of explanations are there: interpretative, descriptive, and reasons. So what are they? Yes, there is interpretation in the explanation. So, resulted communication between the client and the others involved as different interpretations. of the same event can cause miscommunication, because communication is most important. Because without communication, you will get less data. You won't get information, because communication alone can give you the details, getting the details in a comfortable position. Okay. Then descriptive interpretation. There is three types are explained here. First one is between the client and others involved. Then descriptive interpretation means we can explain how things work and how the various services can be obtained. Example, HIV/AIDS pre-test counseling. One may need to tell the client what the test is all about and what consequences could be. These are all descriptive interpretations. Then there is reason giving interpretation. That means uh, they are not steady or right, having a mental stability persons. They will not be rationally fit. They will not be able to think rationally. You should think rationally. The self is heart. The capacity to think that rationally as the self is heart. In such cases, you have to provide rational explanations. But that is reason giving interpretation. There are so many examples also. Then offering reassurance. Clients are of varied nature as they may experience many good and bad incidents. Then using persuasion and being direct. Persuasion, you know very well. Persuasion. Persuasion is another knowledge of a Jain astronomy. No, persuasion means instigating. That is persuade. Your assessment becomes wrong, then you are perhaps violating the principle of self-determination. That's the thing. Sometimes the client may be wrong. For example, a juvenile delinquent who thinks that he is right when he is stealing, uh, or a cancer patient who has to quit smoking, refuses to do so. Then you cannot obviously agree to a client's self-determination. The clients will be in such a condition that they want, for example, they want to quit smoking, and that is providing support. Social worker has to provide the support, emotional support. That's the key and vital activity. Okay. Then providing material and practical assistance. They may need institutional care. So they are, you know, orphans, destitute women, abandoned children. They need institutional care. And another category that needs material and practical assistance is people who become temporarily incapacitated, like victims of disaster riots, etc. Then teaching social skills, because some clients may have to be given social skills training so that they can function effectively in a social situation. Then confronting the client. Then the client has to made aware about his or her what responsibilities and the need for action. Yes, that is confrontation, confronting, facing them. Hmm. Then there's fifth session. We see in the fourth session. Fifth session is once the intervention strategies are ready, the same is implemented. 2 or 3 sessions, the implementation and the intervention will be there. You must be aware of the various aspects of this council. Prepare a checklist, then only you will become an effective caseworker. You can check following empathy, to feel like another person is feeling. That is empathy. Simple meaning to understand the feelings of others. That is your own feelings, and if you put them in their place, you will understand it very deeply. Then warmth, genuineness, and contentness. These are all simple. You can understand. Then the sixth session. So you will have the objectives of the case of process, which will be mentioned once when the case is closed. When these objectives are met, then the case is closed. Whenever the objectives are met, case is closed. That's all. The case can be closed even if the objectives have not been attained, and then the case cannot be handled by the caseworker. At that time, you have no option. Then follow up and determination. Uh, there will be outcomes of casework also, possible outcomes. Then academically a poor student example is given. Counseling, after counseling, his ability for study may be increased. That's the thing. Then here how the clients here, that is client has been provided with the service he is required. Maybe of getting a loan. Uh, Parents who want to adopt are judged with whether they can be good parents like that. Then there's about the service. Then counsel to help her accept damaging impact on his life. For example, a person might have gone through an accident, and at that time he must understand he must accept his condition, situation, position, and he must be living with that knowledge. Then thereafter, so to make him accept, then somebody may have some marital issues, and after solving it, they may be going on well. They may go on well. That's all. Yes, then the client may be ego support. Then evaluation. That is, evaluation of the case is done for at 4 levels. Evaluation by yourself, by client, then supervisor, then by the agencies. That is the evaluation. That is the evaluation process. Done at 4 levels. Then your assessment of the client has the case progressed. Then the appropriateness, then outcome of the intervention, effectiveness, support others. Then there is group work. And then it's a difficult thing because you will need a group to begin with and sustain the motivation of the members to attend to the group sessions. In schools or orphanages, it will be easy because there will be so many persons. But otherwise, whenever there is no institutional setup, it will be very difficult. Then group-related programs, group work among the substance abusers, because in prison, uh, in, in prisons or in correctional homes, they may help the inmates in getting that substance abuse. That is, the social worker emphasizes on uh, abstinence from the substance, alcohol, and tries to motivate the inmate regarding the benefits of the de-addiction. So they are, uh, even after repeating the benefit, they may be knowing it very of de-addiction. But they may need some other help because this substance, then as well as that is substance abuse. Even if you advise them, you make them uh, to be free from it, they may be knowing very well because cigarette smoking is injurious to health. But why the people are using it? Why? So whenever it is, even if after repeat uh, advertisement and so on, people still smoke. Yes, knowingly, because they know very well that it is dangerous, injurious to health, even after they do it. So then group work in juvenile homes is known where these amounts are there. Then uh, people are there. Children, you have to understand their behavior in a group, how they how do they interact. Then you can collect details about their future plan and so on. Yes, the social worker provides opportunities for making choices. That is, self-expression, exhibiting leadership, and participating in activities. Some questions which are to be taken into consideration are the potential, what are the characteristics, then what do you want to group Do group work with these members. What's the time frame? And according to what will be the aim of the group? These are our questions. There are some more questions also. And the first session can be used for introducing each other. That is group. Because the members may be knowing each other. Hence, you can introduce yourself and discuss formally about the aims and goals of the group. Then you record. When you record this journal, you must mention the conditions under which you formed the group. For group forming, there are so many techniques, and you may not be aware of it. Only the trainers are getting aware of it. Then you can learn some methods of group forming. You can see comprehensive performer here, and you can use it. It is the comprehensive performer, and you can use it. You see, relationship with the father, mother, spouse, siblings, and so on. This performer you may go through. Then there is the fourth session. Uh, the areas of interest could be there are any leaders, or any subgroups. Then that is to contribute group malfunctioning. That may click. Then what do you? How do you assess the emotional level of the group members? All these things you have to understand in the fifth session. How do the members make decisions? And so on. Then there is fifth session. And in this session, there will be more interaction between members. So fifth session is interaction pattern. Then more wider circle members. Then uh, they may like each other in this stage, likings. Then communication, better communication, positive interaction, remote of defects in communication skills, and so on. Absence of abusive language, interrogatory language, etc. Then group cohesion and control must be there, otherwise it won't be a successful one. Increasing group influence over members. Then group method of functioning. More democratic functioning, participation, decision making, then sensitiveness to individual needs, and then sensitiveness to members, individual emotions, individual opinions, and so on. Then there is group development. Uh, then the ability to take more and more complex group tasks, and group functioning, flexibility, then ability to exchange roles, to take initiative, perform, then leadership, ability to take leadership roles. All these things are as a result of group development. And group climate, that you understand group worker, listening dependence on group worker for simple tasks, role of group worker, and so on. Then there is termination. Reasons for termination. If you want to terminate, then terminations. Reasons must be there. And reasons. That is why you terminate it, that you have to mention. Then evaluation of the case by yourself, by clients, by field super worker, a supervisor, then by the agency. Four evaluations are there. There you have to take care of your assessment, intervention, appropriateness of the intervention, outcome of the intervention in terms of desired effect and so on. There also. And teamwork is very much necessary in social workers because the team members may be other professional like professionals like lawyers, doctors, nurses, and volunteers. Approach other professionals will be very different from social workers. So they are facing such problems that they have to take care of psychological and social needs. No, not only that, humanize and integrate various approaches. So when you see they are in a team, so what is a team? First of all, you must understand what is the benefits of teamwork. So teamwork will bring you, it's not, that means total success. Together everybody achieve maximum. That is team. Together everybody achieve maximum. So when you do teamwork, you must understand what is a team. See, that is in a team. You have to understand the basic elements in it of a team. Basic element means in a team there will be no I. You see, there will be only we. So I want this. I want this. I am telling this. Not like that. There is no I. Can we think like this? Can we think of it? Or like that? And not instruction. Instructing way. Developing an instruction or instructing way which may not be suitable for a teamwork. So in teamwork, you see all members participate and play their own role. That time you should not complain or you should actually find fault with somebody that you are not doing well because whatever you get, you can. You don't expect all persons very expert in everything. They may do up to their level, their capacity, and so on. So you make use of them in a team and make them do well or make them perform well. That's another matter. But don't expect 100% perfectness from all team members. That's not possible. And if you expect that and if you don't get it, there may be conflict between yourself and others. So in teamwork, you all are leaders. You may be the leader, but don't show that I am the leader, I am the leader. Because then there will be a rift and the team may not be working well. So when this team is formed, team should have a cooperation. Otherwise, team won't be successful. Suppose if one person is not cooperating is a team. You have to make him understand the importance of the team and that issue or problem will be solved very politely or with a human touch or without any what hot temperament. Otherwise, it may affect the group in a very difficult manner. So these are all the basic things you have to understand about teamwork. The teamwork will be a very useful one in everything. In everything, teamwork will be very useful. Hence, you must understand a team. What is a team? Yes. Then Observe and explain the effect of the way the team is functioning. Then, then administrative tasks. So in the agency may have some policies and rules and regulations. You have to understand everything. Income expenditure of the agency should be understood, learn write official letters, and maintain records. Then there is recording. Why should you keep records? Why should you record everything? Because recording system envisages suggestions a proper format to records, suggestions and observations, a file or book to enter information. There will be so many other systems. Then there is the second visit and third visit. Then field instruction. And the connection between you and the fieldwork supervisor is of most important. And you do. The plans. Everything about your social work. Okay. And there is a casework, and you must learn that. You must read that. Okay. And it is a marital problem. It's an example for you to study. That's all. Uh, and, a couple between a couple. So, however, they lived happily. Uh, there came developed misunderstanding between the husband and the wife because real understanding and real uh, bond of love, and also there should not be any what misunderstanding developing. If it is so, that man getting worse and worse and day by day, day by day, and it may. Then that's a case study. You read that and go through. Otherwise, if I tell you that, you may not read in detail. But like a story, it is written, and you go through it very detailed so that I will understand it perfectly. If I say it, you won't go through your own view. Okay. It is a case study. Then report working with the groups of students. Report of working with a group of students. Then meeting with the group, and a report is written, and you go through that numbers, observations, and everything. Then second meeting and the session, all these things are written. And future plans. It's a report, you see. When you read this, you will understand how to write with the report after this social work. The nature of correctional settings. That is homes for juveniles, observation home for boys and girls. These are all the natures. Then children's home, then shelter home, aftercare organization, protective home. These are all things. Then beggars home. No, these are all. Evaluation of field work. Then you must have a knowledge of all these detail. Then skills. Uh, then attitudes. Then development of professional self. These are all things you have to understand. Then activity one induction meeting. Activities are there. And one induction meeting means academic counselor so organize the induction meeting for the students. That's the activity meeting. And then a report on induction meeting. And you have to write all these. Then the second activity, sorry. Orientation visit is there. Orientation visit means you are expected to visit 5 agencies, projects to have exposure to correctional settings. That is orientation. There the performer is there. You have to understand that. Orientation visit report you have to write. Then activity 3, current field work reports. That is uh, so you are placed in a development project or agency field work uh, by field work supervisor in groups 3 to 6. You must have 15 days of experience there. These visits in social work terminology. Then your concurrent field work reports are to be written after each visit. Then there is also a performer. Performer is there and you have to write. Then there is the fourth activity. During the blank page is for active reports. That's it. Just go through this journal at least 4 to 5 times. Otherwise, you won't get a vision of what you have to do, idea. Even if I say something here, class, this is not enough for you to do that. You must go through in detail and you must understand the points very well. Read and read and read at least 5 times. Then only you will be able to get the read. So now we reach the fourth activity. That is a report of individual conference is your fourth activity. It is that report of individual conference. That means a minimum of 5 individual conferences will be held. Individual conferences. However, there can be more or 5 individual conferences depending upon the need or the convenience of the fieldwork supervisor. Before going to the individual conference, you are expected to prepare for the individual conference so that you can discuss the problems and other points pertaining to fieldwork practical. Okay, report of individual conference. I used to get uh, that is the fourth activity. The 7 activities are there. See? And activity 5, self-evaluation report by student. What you performed, what you have performed. Your self-evaluation regarding fieldwork, experience, and whatever difficulties you have, and mainly knowledge, skills, attitude, development and professional support. These things you have to like, that is the fifth activity. Then activity 6 is summary report of fieldwork. A report to write on summary. What fieldwork summary? It is very clearly mentioned in the performer, so you can write it easily. Then there is grade sheet. Your grade sheet is here. And these are all the things you have to learn. Where in activity 6, summary report of fieldwork. It is finished. 6 activity. So, this is what your MSW33, that is fieldwork. So when you do fieldwork, the basic thing you have to understand is simply this. As a part of study, you are going for this fieldwork. Second one, somehow you have to do it. Somehow you have to do it. So even if you don't get any cooperation from there, don't be dissatisfied, because cooperation may be there from some areas, but not all areas, because people have their own issues and we have our own issue. People means the people who are associated with this agencies and correctional home authorities, all these persons. They may have their own issues, and we have our own issue that is doing this. We must give prayer importance to that. But their cooperation is very much necessary, that's the thing, but don't expect more. Okay. And also, you believe in yourself that you can solve this, you can go through this well, you are capable of doing this, you believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is the first secret to success. So whenever you face issues, when you feel that no, I can't do this, I will not be able to do this, then you eliminate the fear. No, give no room to fear. I am capable. I can do this. It's a very simple thing. And you must read your book thoroughly. That is 33. 5 times. I recommend you to read it for 5 times. Then understanding, after understanding everything, you do what? You, after understanding everything, you simply do yourself. That's all. Then you write report and everything. Take care. I learn through well, learn well. Do that will be very easy. Okay. It's not a hard work. It's not so much tedious. If you consider it as difficult, then everything will be okay. With this, guys, I think our portions are over. And if you have any other queries or something, I have given you my number. That is 94478 47899. 94 478 478 99 is my number.